Here's one of those fun little problems that you would see on your test, where I would ask you to find the area of the shaded region. So find the area of the shaded region. So there are certain assumptions that we will make about these pictures that we have. For example, the fact that I have 7.1 centimeters here, the assumption that we have is that that is the length of what? We're going to assume that's the length of the radius, okay? And that would be a good and fair assumption to make. So we're saying here that your radius is equal to 7.1 centimeters. Now, if I asked you to find the area of the shaded region, is this area, is the shaded region that of the whole circle? No. But that's okay because we've talked about fractions. And what portion of the circle do we have shaded? What would you estimate this to be? It looks like this is about 3/4 of a circle, right? So when I want to find the area for the shaded region, the area should equal 3/4 the area of a circle. Do you all agree with that? Okay, so let's keep working with this. So that would be 3/4 or 3/4 times, what was the formula for the area of a circle? Now, there are two things that we need to be very careful about, we need to remember. The things that a lot of students remember would be this. They remember 2 pi r, and they remember pi r squared. But these mean two different things. What is 2 pi r? And if you're not sure, think about the type of units that you would have here. 2 is just a number. Pi is just a number. Radius carries units with it. So this would just be number units. That's a linear measurement, so that has to be circumference. When you have pi r squared, pi is just a number. R has units with it, so you'd have square units. Square units means that we are measuring what? Area. Square units means that we are measuring area. So the area for my circle is pi r squared, and I'm only doing 3/4 of that. Do you all agree? So when we put everything together, we have this. We have 3/4 times pi. And what would you write for pi? What do we typically say for pi here? 3.14, unless it indicates something differently. So this is 3.14. What's your radius?
7.1.
7.1 centimeters, but that's going to be squared, right? If I don't have the square, look at the type of units that you would have. No units, centimeters. That would be a linear measurement, a distance. But we're trying to find the area, so we know it should be square. Well, this is where the calculator comes in handy. How would you write 3/4? Because you've memorized your fractions. You might say 0.75. So let me get that up here. So we would say 0.75 times pi is 3.14 times, keep on going. What comes next?
7.1.
7.1, is that it? So how do I do 7.1 squared on a non-scientific calculator? What was that? Multiply times 7.1 again, so times 7.1. And I come up with this number right here. Now typically we were rounding this to the nearest, what, hundredths, I think is what we said the other day. So read the instructions. The instructions on a test or any assessment will say to what units to round to. So this is approximately how many. Well, tell me what would you write here? What would your answer be? Because I don't want to give too much away. 118.71. The number next to it is 5, so we will round up. 72. Is that it?
Square centimeter.
We would say square centimeters, so make sure you use appropriate units. What do you guys think? Could you do this without a calculator? Yes, but it would take a long time. There are a lot of decimals to keep track of. Now, if you had to do some estimating here to see does this answer make sense, this is what would be going through my mind. The 3/4 would round to about 1. If I were rounding, very, very rough rounding. So 3/4 is about 1. So if I'm estimating, I would say this is about 1 times 3.14. You would round to be about what? 3. 7 squared. Really, that's what it is, right? 7.1 squared. So what's 7 squared? 49. And I might round 49 to be what? To be 50. So when I multiply all this, I end up with 150. Well, maybe that is not the best estimate ever, right? And I think the big part of that came from having the 3/4 right here. If we're on 3/4 to 1, that's a big piece that I'm missing. But if I take 150 times 3/4, which is 0.75, I get 112.5. And you see that's really close to what I said my answer was. So you can see that rounding can be good somewhat. At least it can give you a good idea about where your decimal should be placed. But always remember that rounding has its limitations. Okay?